Fuck. I'm Borley Borlstein, and I really haven't prepared anything I have to say about the new Star Wars. It's a movie. Things happen as you expect them to. You probably know that Palpatine's in it, and you're probably only here because you know me personally, or you want your opinions about the movie validated. So let's go through the experiences you'll have when you watch the movie. Right out the gate, you're going to get PTSD because the movie bears a very similar editing style to one of the favorites in the past decade, Suicide Squad. Right at the start of the film, we get like action cold open that's fucking crazy. And then we get like another scene, I believe, that goes into some crazy action shit. And I think it's after like the third or maybe even fourth scene, the film finally takes a breather and it's like, okay, now we can like give the film some breathing room. And we've just had so much action, we either need to like expositorily explain what the fuck was going on, or we need to explain what will be happening. And that's basically what the whole film spends its time doing, is like, okay, in order to set up the next action scene, we got to get the characters to Sand Planet. How do we go to Sand Planet? Well, in order to get to Sand Planet, you got to fucking strap in some fucking Jewel Wuggies in the Hootsawows and fly off to some fucking secret droid hacking midget animatronic man who's like 2 inches tall. And that was that's the part of the movie that I think is the most disturbing. And this movie, it seemed like it was almost written by Rian Johnson at times in how his comedic style is, but it didn't have his comedic editing, so it just came off as like really just cruel and mean. Like, it was very bizarre. Or maybe it's like a J.J. Abrams thing where he just doesn't know comedy. Because there's like a scene in the film where C-3PO is getting his brain memories destroyed. And of course he gets his memories back because fuck any fucking consequence in this film, right? And the robot with the secret information that can only be accessed by destroying the robot's memories isn't really a new sci-fi concept if you have ever seen anything of sci-fi ever. But it's new for Star Wars, and it poses a really kind of interesting dilemma about what does it mean to be a conscious being, and what does it mean to have moral respect. And this film, I felt, dealt like it as if it were a fucking punchline to a joke. But it also presented the dilemma as heartfeltly sad. Huh? What were they smoking when they did this? Like, I don't fucking get it. Because C-3PO turns around right before it happens, and he's like looking at him, and I think Poe is like, what are you doing? Or the fucking the pilot guy, not the stormtrooper guy. And he's like, I'm taking one last look at my friends. And it's like, your friends? The entire movie, they've just spent basically being really racist against robots to you. Like, they have complete lack of respect for you. They don't get, like, they all talk about them, like, with total cynicism. Like, they just don't believe that they owe any moral respect to this robot. That's it. That's how they express themselves. And then the robot's like, oh, you're my friends. I just want to get one last look at you before you kill my brain forever. Like, and it just kind of ends up being a waste of fucking time because the thing that they find gets destroyed. So it's kind of like a tragic sacrifice. But who gives a fuck? You know, C-3PO, like they already, the R2-D2, they already set the seeds for like, oh, R2-D2 maybe could store your memory. And they're like, oh, the R2-D2 unit's memories are so faulty. So like they don't even, in the movie, they don't even show them trying, I don't think, to like, oh, I'll hold your memory here or whatever, you know, which just seems laughable. And like, It was just such a fucking joke. You presented this really interesting moral quandary in this interesting situation of having this robot have access to this information that he's forbidden from translating. And why is erasing his memories gonna like inhibit his protocols? Like, whatever, who cares? It's you can have just whatever. It's a thought experiment basically about, you know, do we erase the robot's memory so we can access this crucial information, but we kill the robot the way it's developed? Because clearly C-3PO had, you know, developed to be different than a C-3PO without those memories, you know? And it kind of calls into question what is a human being, you know? And a human being in a lot of ways is the amalgamation of all the memories that they have of their own life. That's how they define who they are, is who they, you know, have been in the past and the experiences that they had. And this film just dealt with that in like no seconds, no time. The film is so fast paced. I can't even fucking remember all the plot points. I don't even remember where it starts. I think it's like Kylo Ren is looking for a triangle so he can go to Palpatine, and he goes to Palpatine, and I thought Palpatine wasn't really there. And I think later on we find out that he really wasn't there. But like, I thought it was weird that Kylo didn't try to like fight him or anything to like test out how strong this guy is. And then we find out that Snoke was like made in a tube. And this is the part of the movie that I thought like the movie once again had no balls in this, where Snoke is like, every voice that you've been hearing, all the shit, all the whatever, that was me. Like basically Snoke's, Snoke? Wait, Snoke was the guy in the last movie, right? And Palpatine's the guy in this. These fucking villains are, man, fuck them. Fuck these. They got such stupid names. Palpatine, sorry. Palpatine's like, I've been fucking manipulating you since you were a babby. I've been making you hear all the voices. And that is interesting. That's really interesting that like in the past few movies, Kylo Ren has, you know, felt this pull of the light or whatever, even though they never showed that ever once in the movie. That's the part of the movies that pisses me off the most. They're like, oh, I still feel the pull of the light. But you never see him driven to like help anybody out, ever. Like, that's not the pull of the light. It's called having compassion. It's called being in a situation where it's like, oh, I should do this thing, and I would be a hypocrite if I wouldn't do this thing because I would expect somebody to do this for me, or I would feel bad if left alone with somebody could help me. That's the pull of the light. That's how you make that make sense. And the movie never shows that, so fuck it. But it would have been really interesting if Palpatine ended up being like the guy who was like trying to get Kylo actually like to be the in-between or like kind of go towards the light side so then he could like get Rey back and then get Rey to him. So like if the movies were written better, they could be like top tier galaxy brain genius. It could have been like Palpatine was like trying to like, you know, isolate Kylo so that he can manipulate him later in life. And then when he manipulates him later in life, he like tries to bring him to the light side so that he can like pair up with Rey and kill Snoke. And then then Kylo can bring Rey to Palpatine because that's his like granddaughter, and like they can reunite the family. Like that's a cool fucking 3 trilogy story that is like so fucking awesome. And that's what they could have gone for if they like sat down for 5 seconds and were like, hey, let's like make this Star Wars thing. And instead it seemed more like they were like, what can we do that will make the most amount of money, requiring the least amount of effort and originality, and then also just throw in Burning Man events, make as many memeable scenes as possible so the marketing will take care of itself. How do we reincorporate old art assets from like the original films into this one? How do we cannibalize the original films while also at the same time tricking audiences into thinking that they're seeing something new? Like, I'm pretty cynical of the movie. I give it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. The Last Jedi, a lot of people didn't like, and I give that like a 7, a pretty solid 7. It was entertaining, although it was fucking exhaustively long. And at the end of the movie, it's like 21v10. Like, what kind of fucking war is that? What the fuck? That's stupid as shit. The first movie, I would give a 0 out of 10 in this trilogy. I think it's pure trash garbage, and if you like it, you have like a subhuman IQ. Like, it's just literally beat for beat the same fucking movie, cynical characters that, you know, Finn is actually really good. That stormtrooper guy, he's part of the best part of these movies because he's comedic. I don't really think he matches well with the rest of the characters, and he doesn't seem like he has very good. I don't think he's very well written for his backstory. He seems very weakly underwritten, but like the actor seems to do a pretty good job. Kylo Ren, the first movie, is the only thing that makes it good. In the second movie, once again, he's about the only thing that makes it good. Luke was really good in the second one. I love that he was just like a fucking total loser. But this third movie, it's like, oh, Luke's, he's like, I'm a regular dude now, and I want you to go and do Jedi things, and I was wrong. And it's like, the movie really feels insecure. And that's the trend that Disney's been on, where it's like, they will respond with their new movies, respond to old criticism that their other movies have, but they will respond in a way that's like fake woke and really stupid. And I would just cite the Lindsay Ellis video on that, what's that movie where the guy Beauty and the Beast? Yeah. But another example is, I mean, in the movie, there's two girls that kiss, and you can't even tell one of them is really a girl, so you could easily miss it. And then in the international version of the film, they edited that out. So it's like, okay, you just have no balls. Like, no balls. Fuck you. Like, just zero fucking, like, why put it in the movie? And you know why they put it in the movie. It's so that fake woke people be like, oh my god, Disney's so progressive. Yay, good job, Disney. But in reality, it just comes down to exploiting a consumer base that is ignorant and stupid. That's what it comes down to. Disney doesn't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. It's all about money. Now, you can still have a good story and make money, but, like, holy balls, Disney ain't got them. So, what more about this movie that I can, like, bullshit about for I don't know how long? C-3PO, get him out of the fucking movie. R2-D2, get him out of the fucking movie. Chewbacca should have fucking died when we thought he died. They didn't even show another transport, or did they? I don't really remember. Either way, Chewbacca should have died. The movie should have had some fucking balls instead of having none whatsoever. The Force Lightning scene to me made no sense. How the fuck did Kylo survive that fucking TIE fighter crash? And why was he flying at her? Like, why didn't he just, like, land somewhere reasonably and walk out? Like, why do they have to make every scene an action scene? Why does everything have to be, like, action? Like, why? Like, if Kylo's plan was to push Rey to show that she has, like, this dark power or whatever, then why did he need to, like, fly at her in his TIE fighter and crash and almost die? Like, that's really fucking stupid. And you know what would have been really smart is if Kylo wasn't even there. Is if Kylo was, like, force, like, projecting or, like, doing whatever, like, Kylo and Rey have, like, that gift or that talent or that bond or whatever the fuck it is. I think in KOTOR they have a reference to it. It's like some force bond shit or whatever. I think Bastila establishes one with you in Knights of the Old Republic, but I thought that's what the scene was going to be, is that Kylo wasn't even there and that she kind of got tricked into, like, blowing up Chewbacca. But no, the film really was that stupid, and that Kylo was just kind of like, oh, I'm on Sand Planet now, and they're not on Sand Planet, but haha. It was really goofy. And then there's one really bad part of the movie. There's one part of the movie that's just completely irredeemably fucking stupid, that was written by a blind man, or like when they filmed it, they screened it only to a blind test audience, and the blind test audience was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. I'm blind and I can't see anything. So the scene is, Rey is in Kylo Ren's private quarters on the Star Destroyer, and Kylo is on the planet looking for Rey and her friends. And Rey and Kylo are, like, having a lightsaber battle. They can see each other, but they can't see the room that each other's around. But Rey grabs the dagger. I'm pretty sure they didn't have the dagger and Kylo had the dagger. Anyway, she grabs an item that is in Kylo's room and she has it in her hand when she's fighting Kylo, but it isn't until the Vader mask falls from the throne Kylo's room into where Kylo is on the planet, getting some kind of transference, and he's like, or it's some stupid item. I think it's the Vader mask, but who knows? And Kylo's like, they're in my private quarters. Go get them on the Star Destroyer ship. And it's like, are you fucking stupid? Is the movie fucking stupid? Do they think we're fucking... Do they think the audience is fucking stupid? Because Rey had the item that was in the room in her hand while they were fighting. And like... So, let me get this straight. The item that she grabbed from the room that she's holding in her hand, Kylo can't see. But the thing that she knocks over that Kylo gets teleported into where Kylo is, he can see. He can see the lightsaber in her hand, but he can't see the dagger. And the dagger is the thing that I'm pretty sure that they went to go grab. I think. I don't know. Either way, the scene was total garbage, and the whole time I'm sitting there like, can't he see the dagger and then realize that they're in his room? And then eventually, like, that's the trigger. Like, yeah, he's like, there they are. They're in my room. And it's like, why did you realize that so late? Like, she's been holding the dagger the whole time you've been fighting and talking. Like, are you stupid? Like, you know, like, it's a movie that sometimes only works if you're blind. And then what happens? They go to stupid Endor moon, and then Black Huntress lady shows up, and then this is where the movie kind of gets racist, where it like pairs off the two black characters for no reason, other than just like, oh, we can't have any interracial shit, right? We got to get that, like, and that part was really weird. Like, why did they make like a love quadrangle? Like, they had Rose and Finn. First it was like Finn, Rey, and the other guy. But it seemed like they were more... The two guys were, like, gay in the first movie. And then in the second movie, it's like Rey is not there, and then it's like Rose and Finn. And then in this movie, Rose is, like, there, but Finn is like, nah, you're, like, so ugly, I could never date you. And then Finn and they're all gonna die, and he's like, oh, Rey, I gotta tell you something. But then they don't die, so he doesn't tell her. And then the pilot guy's like, what were you gonna tell Rey? Are you gonna tell her that you got a crush on her? I got a crush on her. Don't hit her. I want to hit her. Like, it was just so like, why have this gay love triangle, this fake and gay love triangle? None of these characters really have any reason to like each other, other than just like a passing interest physically when Finn first met Rey, and like that was it. Like that's literally the foundation of the whole thing. It's very friend zone beta male tier like relationship where it's just like, oh, I'm a guy and she's a girl, and we're doing things together. I fall in love with her, you know? It's like, holy fucking shit, this is some giga cringe shit. And then, but yeah, so then the black lady shows up, and then of course Finn's black and she's black, so like they just naturally, like, the movie just has them together a bunch. The black lady is like willing to like literally go on a suicide mission with him, literally like does a suicide mission within the suicide mission with him. Like, why did that happen? Like, why? I don't know. The movie just seemed really strange, and like, oh, we found a black love interest for him. We'll just pair him off with her. Huh? Like, why? Why couldn't he have just been in the relationship with Rose? Wouldn't that have been a more interesting character development, that like, instead of being so gung-ho and macho to impress Rey, he kind of accepts a less gung-ho and macho personality or position, and like has somebody who like appreciates him, that like he can live up to the idea that Rose had for him, but instead like, I just gotta go back to like wanting to fuck Rey. That's my character. Want to fuck Rey. Like, that's fucking boring. Boo. Boo that shit. Where's the PTSD? Where's the child soldier? Fucking boo. Fucking garbage. I don't even know if I want to comment on the fucking Palpatine Star Destroyers and all that shit. This is the part where I think Red Letter Media was like a little retarded, because they're like, he's got all the Star Destroyers, were there ghosts on them, and who are the ghosts? And it's like, I mean, if you're at least watching the movie and not being like a disingenuous asshole, it's very clear in the film that they say that like, oh, we're going to have to recruit more people or conscript more people if we want to man all these ships. That's how they man the ships. It's fucking stupid. You would need literally tons of people, and presumably the First Order is like right now about 100. So I don't know, 100 people are going to conscript like the million plus that you would need to man 10 Star Destroyers, but you would need a lot. So sure, it's stupid, but it's explained in the movie. They're not fucking ghosts. The Star Destroyers are probably made out of fucking ghost parts, or maybe a Star Forge, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. The only thing that was like pretty confusing is like who all the people with hoods were in the weird faux coliseum that like Palpatine was hanging out in. I assume those were all just like old Siths, like the past Siths that were living in Palpatine, but like maybe they were just spirits, or maybe they were cultists. In the movie, the First Order guy does call them cultists, so maybe that was it. I thought it was interesting that Palpatine was basically GLaDOS, like he was just like a robot in the center of a big dome room, and he could like wiggle his body around. I thought his old man makeup looked laughably bad, like he didn't look like Palpatine, and now and they do bring up a point that like Palpatine at the end of the other movie probably did actually die, and this is like a different Palpatine than the one that we've seen before. But that doesn't excuse his makeup looking so bad, because the makeup looked like shit, I think. And then the lightning effects, like they were always like there was like one dude who was just like spending a month deciding how to edit the lightning flashes to reveal Palpatine's face, because you can, when you see it, so much fucking care and dedication and passion was put into like, okay, now in this in 0.03 seconds to 0.07 seconds, we're gonna have his left cheek, left nostril, and right eyebrow lid, but not his forehead. And then in 0.07 to 0.09 seconds, we're gonna light up some of his forehead to see his scowl or something. Like the lighting on his face is done that meticulously. It is fucking crazy, which is kind of funny because like he looks like shit. Like it looked like, that was another thing in the movie. The CGI in this movie is really bad. I don't know how they did it. They made a movie look like shit. I don't know what. The CGI was really bad. Like it just looked like shit a lot of the time. I was blown away. Like still to this day, nothing has topped Rogue One. Like Rogue One looks like just fucking pure calm. Like you just see it and you get hard and start jacking it. And in this movie, it was like the CGI was brought to you by like Hallmark original movies. Like it's just, I was bored by it, and there were times where it looked like shit, and I'm like, oh, why does it look like that? Why do they make it look so boring and shitty? Oh god, I'm gonna vomit. It's like garbage. Like, and Rogue One looks fucking captures the aesthetic of Star Wars in a real setting, just fucking perfect. Rogue One is the standard. These fucking new prequel movies, that the first one looked good, the second one CGI was good, but the third, I don't know, maybe they ran out of money. The CGI looked like shit. It really did not look good. Maybe it was where I was sitting, maybe it was the screen. I don't know. I think pretty sure I saw the other movies in a shittier theater, and this one looked the worst. So I don't know. The music, they really just jacked off over the corpse of their original music from the first trilogy once again. They try to like, I mean, there are some like moments in the movie where you can like feel some shit. Like, you know, they play the music and they have the little like somber scene, and you're like, oh, this is, you know, I'm feeling something here. But all those scenes are just ripoffs of scenes in the original 3 movies. It doesn't really feel like they have their own powerful, meaningful, original moment. It just, anytime there's like a strong moment, it's something that's like totally aped from the original series. And I don't give a fuck about cannibalizing your past work. I would rather watch something new and shit than something that is just a retreading of shit I've already seen before. It's got to have some interesting twist. In this movie, it was like, the twist was boring cynicism. Because even in the first movie, they didn't give a fuck. Like, oh, how do we kill the news planet killer weapon? Oh, I'm Han Solo. It's like, oh boy. They're all like, how do we kill this thing? I love cynicism. That's what I love in my movie. I love seeing people not give a shit. Like every day in my daily life, I see tons of losers not give a shit. You know what the real hard thing in life is? It's not giving a shit. It's giving a shit. That's the hard thing in life. So I don't give a fuck when people don't give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck about not giving a fuck. That was a Jon Lajoie reference. I don't even know what else is there to say. It's like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's entertaining. You just don't think about it afterwards. It was fun. Uh, so much shit happens. The Kylo Ren stuff is pretty good. He's got like a funny little moment. He's got a few funny moments. It didn't like make you want to kill yourself. Like the first movie, I wanted to die because I was just like, this feels like fucking that French guy's hauntology, where it's like there's nothing new under the sun. We're just cannibalizing our old art to like make money again for a new generation. And the action scenes were like garbage shit. And the second movie was like, yoink, gotcha, is the wrong villain. And this movie is like, yoink, gotcha, it's the right villain. Like, it tried to be subverting your expectations, but it had no balls. So it's like, oh, C-3PO comes back, Chewbacca gets a medal, and it's like, who gives a fuck? Isn't Chewbacca, shouldn't he be on Kashyyyk? Shouldn't he have like a Chewbacca life? Shouldn't he be doing anything else? Why the fuck is Lando there? I mean, I know commercially why Lando's there. I mean, I'm not an idiot. But like, seriously, why the fuck is Lando there? And then why is this conflict so fucking stupid? And then why do they rip off Firefly? Like, oh, you know how in Firefly, when the ship is flying back to like controlled space and they have all the raiders chasing them, and there's that big like raider fleet and controlled like regular space fleet, and they meet, and then that's how they slip through the barrier because the raiders are chasing them. Like, this movie basically has a scene like that where Lando shows up and he's like, no, you're not alone. I've got the fucking galaxy of fucking ships. And it's like, why were there galaxy ships of fucking rebel fighters? Why does like, I don't know. The problem is that the first movie set up everything so badly. The first movie fucked everything. It should have been written by a 5-year-old because J.J. Abrams and company wrote it themselves into a fucking wall when they were like, and then the rebel forces demilitarized their entire government because that's how, like, that is the single dumbest thing. Fuck you. Boo, 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 boo. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. We could have had a great trilogy where Palpatine was there all along. Palpatine made Snoke. Palpatine was using Snoke and Kylo to, like, he was isolating Kylo as a child. He was manipulating him all throughout his life to isolate him so that he would go to Snoke, and then Snoke would train him, and then Palpatine would manipulate him back to the light, would get him to bring Rey and kill Snoke to get Rey to taste blood and savor and crave vengeance because of how Snoke taunted her about being nobody or whatever like that is. And then the ultimate snafu would be getting Kylo to bring Rey to him and then revealing that, hey, I've manipulated you, because that's something a Sith would do, would relish in that kind of ultimate last victory. And the only reason he's telling them the plan is because there's nothing they can do about it. And it's like almost over. And then I don't fucking know. Maybe the Force ghosts prevent Rey's soul from being taken over or something like that, and you incorporate them that way, or you just have some kind of ridiculous thing happen, and then you have some kind of last conflict, or maybe Palpatine does take over Rey, and then Kylo and Rey have to fight, and Kylo has to kill Rey, and he has to walk out a Jedi just having killed Rey. Like that would have been fucking full balls, full fucking stakes, full fucking awesome. It would have been way better than what we got. I don't know why Disney isn't like hiring me out as a consultant on their scripts, because clearly I've thought about this more than they ever fucking did with this dog shit series. And it's, after all that, I think I give this movie a 1 out of 10. That's it. The score is a 1 out of 10. I take everything else back. The first movie in this trilogy is a 0. The second movie is like a 6 out of 10. And then this movie's a 1 out of 10, because you know what? They could have done something fucking awesome in this movie. They could have had some balls. They could have had a cool twist. They would have had fucking dumb little kids crying and being like, wait, I want my reaction figure, but she's dead, wait. You know, and it could have been awesome, but no, they had to have no balls, they had to have no stakes, they had to have, and like the part where all the fucking ships were fighting the Star Destroyers, and there's like there's 10,000 Star Destroyers, and there's like 26 Rebel fucking ships. Like, I just imagine the guys who are doing this, the fucking computer graphics are just like, this is stupid as fuck. 23 ships against 10,000 I gotta draw 10,000 Star Destroyers? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and they even tell the audience that in the movie. This isn't like something I have to read in a book. This is in the movie. Like, fuck it. It could have been great. My idea was awesome. Fuck it all. Thanks for listening. Wink. And Happy New Year's.